When my son was born, when he was born, we um, had no reason to believe that he wasn't going to be a totally happy, healthy baby. May not be able to get through it. Um, and there's a chance he may not make it. Yeah, I guess I got started in the outdoors about the age of 3 with my dad taking me out turkey hunting as a little kid, and that grew from that into fly fishing and bird hunting and deer hunting, and um, it's all started with him taking me out when I was just a little guy. The first turkey, first gobbler I got, which was about 20 years ago. Like, I can still remember that to this day. Um, my sister Claiborne was with me. Um, I was a sophomore in high school, and Claiborne was in middle school, and I was home from boarding school that weekend, and only had like one day that season to turkey hunt because of lacrosse games and being away from home, and so we pull up to our hunting spot, and Dad goes to opens the car trunk and pulls out the guns and realizes that he forgot the ammunition in 2 of the guns. And so, we almost had to play like rock, paper, scissors to see who was going to hunt that day or who was going to pull the trigger. And my sister was nice enough to give me the green light. So, but I can just remember, sitting there and feeling like it just wasn't going to happen. Wasn't going to happen. The hunt went on. I think by 9:30 we hadn't heard anything, and then at 9:35, 3 huge gobblers came, rolling down the mountain in full strut, and I can remember just like shaking so hard and feeling like they are going to spook any second because they can hear my heart beating. But I can just remember my legs and arms shaking so much, and my heart beating so fast and so loudly that I thought the turkeys could hear it. And yeah, we had one come in range and pulled the trigger, and that was the first bird, most photographed turkey in the history of the Fletcher family. Dad did lead by example, whether it was picking up trash in the woods or taking care of the animals that you kill or you harness, leading the charge and showing me how to do things.
To go in the woods, it's just an immediate, it's almost like a shower. It just washes away all those worries, and you're just totally involved. Nothing else is entering into it. It's so refreshing to get out there and leave those worries behind. A lot of people say that you shouldn't take your kids out till they get to a certain age, but if he had the interest to go, I was happy to take him, and it didn't matter whether I got game or not. It was just, hey, he wanted to go, and I wanted to spend time with him. I think it was very easy for me to not worry about whether I got a deer or a turkey or anything like that. We could just go out and have fun. So we did that quite a bit. It was a nice way for me to get to spend time with my children.
When my son was born, we had no reason to believe that he wasn't going to be a totally happy, healthy baby. And a nurse stopped by for one last checkup, and she said, does he always, or has he been pulling really hard when he breathes like that? And I'd kind of noticed that, but just kind of felt like he was just taking had a big sigh, and she said, I think we need to take him back and just check and make sure that there's nothing going on. And at the time, I was totally frustrated and was ready to go home. After 2.5 hours, I kind of remember getting nervous about maybe something is wrong, maybe maybe something's happening. And 2.5 hours after they took him back for observation, a whole team of doctors came into the room. And they said, "We think something's wrong with his heart, and there's a chance he may not make it." And so they said, "We need to get him to Children's Hospital as soon as possible." So they went that night, got him over there, and the next day he had heart surgery at 3 days old. And went in through his back shoulder, and he had a coarctation of his aorta, and they essentially went in and cut out the bad part and sewed him back together, and it was pretty amazing, scariest week of my life, for sure.
We were driving down to New Orleans, and so in making plans to go for that Thanksgiving, I asked Will if I bring my shotgun and we'll go out and hunt, and he thought that was a good idea. I think we both needed that.
That hunt in particular stands out to me because it, in a time in our lives when it seemed like nothing was really going well, even though he was better and was able to have surgery and he was better, it's still that weight of that was really real and really present and really heavy. And so in that moment when Maggie was on point and those birds got up, it was certainly a sense of like, okay, we're doing something right. Something good is happening here. And I don't think it could have come at a better time for me in particular. In some ways, the lessons that like hunting and fishing teach you are like a small microcosm of life in general. Like it's not always easy and it doesn't always go according to plan, which is exactly the way it went when he was born. That was not the vision that we had for him or for us, but it's the way it was dealt, the hand that we were dealt. Well, I think one of the things that, or the thing that I appreciated most about my dad as I was coming up as a young hunter and fisherman was, he always provided the opportunity, but never put any of the pressure on me to go out and do those things. And I'm trying to do the same with my kids, right? I always want to provide the opportunities for them to hunt and fish and hike and camp. But I'm never going to put that pressure. I'm never going to force them to do the things that I want to do because I want them to enjoy it. Well, I hope my kids, after all that we've done and introduced them to the outdoors and hiking, camping, and so if they can walk away with those two things, an appreciation for and love of land and wilderness, and then an escape from the pressures of life, then I think they'll be okay.
Let's see, it's dated 6/25/24, which is my birthday. Dear Dad, I'm sitting here writing you this note on your birthday while listening to the latest podcast episode from Garden and Gun about raising kids in the outdoors.
It's not lost on me how blessed I am to have a dad who introduced me to the outdoors at such a young age and who instilled in me a love for hunting and fishing. Thinking back on all of the memories of our time together, in the woods and on the water. I'm so grateful for the time and patience you put into making those memories possible. Of all the gifts you've given me, and there have been many, a love of the outdoors is perhaps one of the greatest. It's hard for me to put into words how thankful and grateful I am for you and all that you've done to help shape me into the man I am today. I hope that I'm able to do the same for my kids as you've done for me. Thanks for being such a wonderful dad and for instilling a love of the natural world early on. I hope you have a wonderful birthday and that we can find time to get on the water again soon.
Love, Will. That makes you proud.